Okay, so super excited. Real raw results. We have the best dressed man in the game, the fly custom suit man himself. So Daniel, I'm super excited to have you on, man.
Thanks for having me. I'm crazy excited to be on your podcast today, man. Been looking forward to it.
Yeah, man, and so we'll get into it, and I want to talk about, man, just everything. So the kind of purpose is we all have a story, and let's tell it, right? And how we all work together, and how we all got to where we are. And so, I followed you for a long time. I think a story is really cool, and I think it kind of resonates with everything we do. Is that we actually met through social media?
Yeah.
Met for lunch, and here we are. And so it was the power of two guys from different worlds, different places, and saw you on social media. I was like, man, I really like what this guy's doing, and I was like, that's awesome, man. I want to meet that guy, irregardless of if something ever happens. I just want to meet him, talk to him, see what he's doing and how he's doing it. And that's how we met, and here we are. And
and the same thing. I mean, I get approached, as you know, many realtors get approached by tons of roofing companies. You got so much noise coming at you from different directions, but just the action, man. I mean, the action you take, especially on social media, consistently. It wasn't all just talk. I mean, people are great at talking, but as far as your social media and really trying to connect with your clients, I mean, it was consistent. It was clear. So when the opportunity presented itself for us to meet, it was a no-brainer, man.
Yeah, and we got some good food. We got some positives.
Yeah,
it was great. Right. So, man, let's start way back, man. So, where are you from? How where you grew up? Where you're from? How were you as a kid, man?
Yeah, so I grew up Southside Chicago. So I am from Chicago. Been here since 2002. So I'm officially a Texan now.
Actually, yeah. Well, howdy.
But definitely Chicago's home. But this is definitely my second home. Love it, Texas here. But yeah, I grew up not in the best part of town, but always had just aspirations of doing something great with my life. It took me a while to kind of even figure out what it is I want to do. I grew up like most people thinking, hey, get a good job and work that job forever and retire and hopefully, get a pension and that's your life. But as I started to get, decent jobs, I worked for, from Chase to Wells Fargo, Countrywide back in the day when, I was a loan officer for about 10 years. And then after that, I was an underwriter for quite some time. And just corporate America was not for me. I just realized, at a young age, I knew this wasn't for me. So I had entrepreneur endeavors the whole entire time.
What did what made you realize this? So it's funny. My business partner, his mom worked for Chase. I didn't know you worked there. Worked directly for Jamie Dimon. So he came up into corporate America, and so what made you realize that corporate America wasn't for you?
I knew at a young age that the structure was not for me, and I was always creative. I had a very creative mind. And, and I love people, love talking to people, helping people, being out and about and just having control of my life and my destiny. From, my early 20s, I knew that. But, of course, just being, caught in this whole matrix of life, I just thought this was the path and just wanted to do anything to kind of get out of my situation at the time, my first apartment was in Inglewood in Southside. So everybody knows Chicago. That was my first part, Inglewood. So, after hearing gunshots and things of that nature, I realized, coming home, at 9 o'clock at night from work and hearing, gunshots and stuff, I was like, this is not my life. Like, there's got to be something better.
Yeah.
I just started, getting better jobs. Worked for ABN AMRO Bank back in the day.
Nice.
And then when I came here, I just, it just took off, man. I mean, I was able to leverage just a lot of the knowledge I had from, of course, branding myself, even at a young age. I've been dressed like this almost out the mama's womb. Like, I learned from my parents, though. And they always told me how to, present yourself. And so I was able to kind of take that and really get jobs, even when I didn't have the background to really support a lot of the jobs I was getting in the beginning. And then I just knew that structure, being told what to do, what I can and can't do, it just wasn't for me. And I didn't have my purpose. If anyone's working a job and that's your purpose and that's your passion, that's great. That's where you're destined to be. There's no problem with that. But I just knew it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. And I just wanted to find, my passion. And I finally found it actually not in selling homes. Because to be honest with you, you do a deal. There's nothing really sexy about the deal. I mean, you do a deal, you help people find a house. To me, it's nothing really sexy about it. But being able to motivate people from the channel and my social media, the way I do it, gave me a kind of a purpose. From motivational speaking to connecting with great people like you with this podcast. I mean, it's just taken off to just other direct suit sponsors, watch sponsors. Meeting just all time. I mean, I've done business with people from all backgrounds, all religions. I mean, just you name it. I've done business with them, and it's happened for me because of how I've been leveraging YouTube and social media.
So who does the suits? You gotta let the secret out.
Gariani Menswear. Ramsey, he's awesome. He takes really good care of me. He sponsors most of my suits that you see on the channel. Check it out. I'll maybe I'm gonna of course post this on my YouTube as well, so I have his information on there if anybody.
I mean, had to give me a roof for custom suits.
He could do it.
Yeah. So how long you been in real estate? You've been in Texas 10 years. How long you been in real estate?
Yeah, real estate. Well, investing in real estate and flip. I mean, like forever. But as far as realtor now, full time for about 4.5 years.
4.5 years. Why did you get into that? And you kind of hit it on something about. Selling, it's like, to me, it's not what you do, it's who you do it with, right, and why you do it. Same thing, roofing's not sexy to me. I know most people think growing up, I'm going to be a roofer when I grow up.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen.
It doesn't.
You would have told me this, it was crazy, but similar to you, man, I knew there was something different. I wanted to make an impact over income. And I had a couple bad experiences in roofing with actually myself and other people. So I wanted to make that impact on roofing. But for you said it's not sexy, right? Yeah. So why do you do what you do? It's like something like it's not sexy, not saying you don't enjoy it, but it's, hey man, it's just, why do you do what you do, and what even led to get into real estate? Well,
what led to get into real estate is I was working for a company, and I was doing commercial real estate.
Okay.
For them, but I wasn't licensed. I was kind of on their charter, doing real estate for them, helping them mostly lease units, commercial units.
Okay.
And it just wasn't. I was referring so many realtors' business. I would talk with them, and they would say, "Hey, do you do houses? Do you do houses? Do you do houses?" And I really didn't enjoy that.
Yeah.
But I've always enjoyed house. I've always enjoyed beautiful homes. I mean, as a kid, we would go to the wealthy part of town, look at the Christmas lights, and I would always wonder, what are these people doing to live in these houses? And I always wanted to know, like, this is the life I want, So I've always been to houses and just decorating and detail. So I was referring so much business out just from, of course, being a loan officer, an underwriter. I was also doing some flips at that time, and then commercial real estate. I was like, you know what? I think I need to be a realtor. I think that I have more control. Of course, it was more about the money at that time. Like, I'll make more money, I have more control, and so I left that, and pretty much it was a cold turkey situation where I didn't know what I was going to do, or even how to even become a realtor. I didn't even research. I just made a decision, and I was like, you know what, this is it. And then, long story short, cut it to it. Became a realtor, and even then, for like about the first couple of years, man, it's not easy. Like, this realtor game is not HGTV. For any realtors that may see this, that may become a realtor, like it's a grind, and you're gonna get all these crazy broken promises and these great leads and here and there. I mean, at the end of the day, it's relationship building, like we're doing right now. It's still a very offensive game. Calling. Even you have to use the phone, and heavy branding, as far as putting yourself out there consistently. You do a couple, 2-3 posts, nobody cares about what you're doing.
Nobody gives a shit
Nobody
about
cares
your
about what you're doing.
They don't.
They don't. But they see you this week. Oh, man, he got another awesome post 3-4 days a week, and then again, and then again, and again, and you got video footage, and it's like, God, this guy won't go away. That's when people start taking you seriously. Yep. And, man, I just knew that there was something better, and it's probably the best decision that I've made. I mean, and of course, my why, one, I do, like most realtors say, but there's a reason why I'm saying this. Most realtors say they love to see people win. Yeah. But I have a really interesting story, which I'm actually, I'll be real quick. My good friend Keenan Pearson just finished a script. We're doing kind of like a mini movie on this actual situation. So we're doing different things as far as marketing, as far as the YouTube movie, and being able to, really invest in like you're doing, invest in your vision, and people, just thinking outside the box as far as with marketing. But we're doing that. This situation, I had a situation where had a woman, of course, she was going through domestic violence, unfortunately. And she needed a place to live. So she's looking for a rental place. She just wanted something fast. She needed to get out of the situation. She was living with her mother. And luckily, I got her permission before I can do the movie. But I won't say her name.
No, for sure.
I won't say her name, but I got her permission because we're doing the movie. But she was living with her mother at the time. I was like, what, are you in a safe place? Are you good? She's like, yeah, I'm living with my mom, whatever. And so I started asking her questions. And of course, I was asking qualifying questions. And I come to find out, like, you know what, you could buy a house, just from the questions I had. I was a loan officer for 10 plus years. I was an underwriter. The questions, if this checks out, you really could buy a house. You got a little money saved. Of course, the market was different at that time. So, it was a little bit easier for her to get a home. But long story short, to cut it, she was able to actually purchase a house within about 45 days. She purchased a home, and the closing, that was probably my third deal. That's probably my third deal in the first year I was a realtor. And man, she just was bawling. I mean, like I've never seen someone cry from something I did for them like that, And from then on, I was like, yeah, man, that feeling at that time at the closing table was like, that sealed it. I was like, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like, she's never gonna forget me. She's referred me everyone. She supports everything I do. Like, that sealed it for me. Like, okay, I didn't think this was going to be sexy or maybe even fun. Yeah. But that would kind of switched it. And then, so that's my why, man. I like to see people win, man. For one, for two, I do it for the current dream and future reality of retiring my dad.
Nice.
I'm gonna definitely. That's a major goal of getting retired. And then thirdly, I do it for people that you'd be surprised when people reach out wondering how I'm in this space, being a black man, just to be straight over. I mean, there's not too many people in the luxury space, especially here in Dallas, who look like me. I mean, go look, Briggs, Freeman, look at all, just go on their website and look and see the ratio of, who's who. And a lot of people, who look like me want to get in that space, and they want to understand, what are you doing? How are you doing it? How are you networking? Like, there's a certain way to do things as far as branding yourself, and really how to position yourself the correct way to get through some of these doors. And so that's a huge motivation, which actually just came a motivation, I would say probably about 6 months ago, when so many people started reaching out from the channel. It's all from the channel. Yeah. Like, how are you doing this? Like, can you mentor me? This and that. I was like, oh wow, and this became a new why.
Yeah, so you hear, and I don't want to touch on any issues as far as like race. We're not even trying to go down that road.
We're not.
But it's a real thing, right? Yeah. I got a ton of friends like, hey man, I have trouble past that. In and out of law trouble. I was homeless when I was 14. Came up in the trailer park, lived in a freaking park, slept on a park bench. It's real stuff, right? And so, but I made that an excuse for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I remember one time, one of my really, really good friends, man, he's not from here, African American, and we were talking about it. And, he told me, hey, man, you've been judged for a lot of things, but you've never been judged for the color of your skin. And that was real, man. It was like a real thing for me. And for a long time, I let my past, dictate what I did. What I realized is no one really cared. But I cared, and I projected that. And so when I cared and I tried to hide it, I came off as unauthentic, right? Gotcha. And I tried to be something I wasn't. Yeah. And I know we talked about this in a long time, man. And one of the things is I laughed because one of the first times we met, I go, how funny is it, man? You're from the, south side of Chicago. You're dressed up and you told me, you're like, I've always dressed like this. I want to get out of there. And then me, I've always been the same, bro. Hey, fitted hats, chains, J's, and people like, what? But it's who I am, man. And what's funny is up until probably, a few years ago, it's not that I tried to hide that, but I did try to hide it, right? I tried to be something I wasn't, like wear the suit when I'd go places. If I went to a meeting, I didn't want to wear I wouldn't wear the hoodie because I thought people were going to judge me. And the fact was, maybe they were, maybe they weren't, but who gives a shit what people think about you? Like, good or bad, I don't care. This is who I am. And that's one of the reasons I respected you is like, you talked to me about this and you were saying, hey man, I just wasn't going to let that dictate who I was going to be. And you're out doing it. And, you know, I could do 12,200 YouTube subscribers. Amazing. Congratulations.
No, thanks. Yeah. I remember we were just trying to get monetized with 1,000 at one point, and we were like so excited. And then once we kind of got to 10,000, it's weird because my mind switched. It was like, you know, oh wow, we got 10,000 subscribers, but now it's like, okay, now I got to get 50. So now that's the new goal. Like, well, how to do 50 subscribers, but really strong following. Like, I'd rather have, I'm all about the true followers that really support the channel. Instagram, like I hate those fake numbers they try and do. Like I get all these, different marketing firms trying to get you to do. No, I want it to be authentic. I'd rather have just really true followers. But yeah, I mean, being able to leverage YouTube has been great. But yeah, our next goal is 50, and then after that, we're trying to do 100, and we're just gonna keep going, man. We're not gonna stop. This is my plan A. I don't have B or C. Yeah. This is A.
Why don't you have a plan B or C? You always hear that plan B, plan C. Why not?
Dude, because with this, because of me focusing on this, I'm here.
Absolutely.
Because me focusing on this, I get motivational speaking. Because me focusing on this, get sponsorships. Me focusing on just this, it's branching off by itself. And once I realized that, I was like, I'm just gonna focus on my social media and my YouTube and getting that as best as I possibly can, doing the best production I possibly can.
Yeah, and it's cool, man, because when I'm watching, obviously we have it up, but you're constantly trying to provide value. And then I see that it's hey, what I like about it is obviously you're in it, right? So it's cool. You see you in it, but you're adding value. You're talking about the space, and it's funny because I feel like I've seen every video, but then every time I see it, I watch one. Yeah. Every time I see you post it, I watch it. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Well, it's the same thing with you, man. It's like,
it's like, oh, I've seen this one. And then I catch myself 3 minutes in, and I'm like, oh man, I was just talking shit, and I just watched this whole thing, right? So it's cool though, man. And 12,000. How long ago did you start the YouTube channel?
Dude, man, that's great. So it's been a year and maybe 4 months. We started. So 2020, pandemic happened, and of course things were like pretty much shut down. Yeah. So it kind of got a little discouraging because I had a game plan of basically my whole game plan was just really relationship building, which would require me being out and about. So I was like, well, that's shot. So I can't do that because I was gonna. I had a door knocking team. Like we were gonna go crazy with it, man. Like we were gonna hit every networking event. We were gonna be out just like crazy, and which I would enjoy anyway. But when that was shut down, I was like, well, man, how am I gonna get to the masses? So I was like, well, I've always wanted to do a YouTube channel, but I was kind of fearful of it just because, man, people can be cruel, man. Yeah. People can be cruel. I mean, you got to really love what you do to really put yourself out there. Cause I mean, the hate is real, but I realized once I started doing it, man, I got so much more love, man. Yeah. The love was like so much more, far more from the hate. Yeah. So 2020 was really the reason why I was like, okay, you know what? If I'm not going, now's the best time of ever to take this thing seriously, my YouTube channel. So we did our first from a cell phone, man, from an iPhone. We did it from the iPhone. It was terrible, and I still have them up there. I want people to see the journey. Like I haven't taken anything down. Go back, check out the first one to where it's at now, and you'll see the progression. You're like, dude, this dude sucks. I
still have mine up there without even a title. It's like the number they put up there. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, hey, welcome to that. Yeah, that was horrible. Yeah,
I was like, and then one time I thought about taking it. I was like, no, I'm gonna keep it up. Yeah, so people can see the progression. And we went from cell phones to then we had little whack lapel mics, and we upgraded our mics. No mics. Yeah, then mics. Then we got a little, cheap drone, and now we have like this crazy awesome drone. And we went from just regular, cheap whatever cameras, and now my partner Daniel, which you met. I mean, we've upgraded our camera equipment, everything, and now we have like everything we would need. But it just took just consistency and having a down partner like Daniel, man. His name is Daniel as well. Yep. We started another company, Infinity Shots, which, is what we promote, of course, in the beginning of our videos now. Yep. And but yeah, man, just having a good team, and just 2020 was just the breaking point. Like, okay, I'm taking YouTube serious now. That's it. I got to get it out. You know, I can't. You know, there's no going back now. And it was 2020 for some people was a bad year, and it sucks. But for some, it was like a breaking point. Like, it's now or never. And for me, it was the best thing that could have happened.
Yeah. So you got into real estate. You said 3. Was it 3 years ago? 3, 4?
So yeah, 4.5. About 4.5 years is where I'm doing real estate as a realtor full time.
Okay, full time. So and then you had the pandemic hit about a year and a half ago. How much success were you seeing before the pandemic? Like on average, how many homes were you selling a month?
Yeah, so we were doing anywhere between maybe 1 to 3 homes per month on average. But
how many are you doing now?
Now it's like we do anywhere between 3 to 4 a month. But also the price points
it's
are
way
different.
higher.
They're very price point. Now we help everyone. I tell people all the time. I help everybody. I don't care if you want to purchase $200,000 house or $20 million house.
Yeah.
But I also knew, I also wanted to get into that luxury space because, it was no problem helping, the masses out. Yeah. But also, how do I get into the 5%, the 1%? How do I break into that market? Because I don't have just a ton of friends that own, $2, $3, $4, $5 million houses.
No.
So how do I show that this is something I can do? And I was like, the only way to show I can do it if I don't have any clients is just to show it on YouTube. And that's how I got my first client. And
off of YouTube. That's awesome.
At that price point, at $1 million price point is how I got off YouTube. And I went from there, and then it just grew from there, and just get more and more clientele, just acting as if should be straight with you. That was my plan. I don't have any friends. I can't go out. I can't network. I can't do these things. What can I do? Well, I'm comfortable in these homes. I know the product. I know what granite looks like. I know what onyx looks like. I know what quartz looks like. I know waterfall edge quartz. I know what scraped wood floors look like. I know all these different things about homes. Like, I know them because I've been watching this for years. Like, I've been watching home tours, and for almost probably about 5, 6, 7 years, I'd be in my theater room for hours just watching them, and just and didn't know that it would be for this time. But I was always into that, so I just knew these different materials just off just from watching it. Yeah. And so and I knew different eras because I lived all around Dallas. Been here since 2002. So I was like, I can do this. Seen it all, yeah. I can do this. So and then once I just put myself out there, is when it just started to just take off, man. It probably about maybe 6 months into doing the channel is when I got my first deal from the channel. So I did 6 months. Yeah. No deal. Nothing. No nothing.
No likes. No comments. Nothing.
Getting likes and stuff. But not.
It's like your mom. Money. It's like your grandma. Yeah. It sucks. Like you're like I go back and look at the first post. I'm like, damn, bro, it's my grandma. Yeah. It's like somebody got hacked. Some random person from another country that's fake, and my wife. Thanks, babe. Proud of you. Like, oh man, like it's rough.
But you need that. It's good to have that. That support. But you just got to keep at it, like you have, man. I know your story, man. I know where you came from, and even seeing your space here, man. I saw it when you probably how long ago was that?
6, 8 months ago.
6, 8 months ago, and now to where it's at now, man. I mean, it's motivating even to me to man, just keep going.
That's it, man. Keep going, man. It's all these things in your life, like problems to me and challenges are just opportunities, right? Yeah. I know there's something on the other side, and I don't for me, I think people get it twisted about whether you do it for the money. If you're doing it for the money, you're wrong. Or if you're doing it for this, you're not wrong, man. It's just dudes understanding what they want to get, right? Like you should go after what you want. If it's money, go fucking get it. If it's for me, it's a legacy, man. It's what it all. It's not about the money. The money's a byproduct. It's the legacy piece. It's for me, when my kid's sitting at home and he sees dad on YouTube, and he's like, mommy, dad's on YouTube. Yeah. Man, that's it. That's all what I care. I don't care about anything else. And I think you said something earlier about dealing with the hate. And so, how did you deal with the hate, or what was the break? Because man, I would say it's so funny you said 6 months, because I talked to all of our team about, hey man, I was posting on Facebook years ago, right?
Yeah.
Like in the fitness industry, I remember the video.
Dude, you post.
Yeah,
you
I post.
You be posting.
Overpost people.
And that's good. But yeah, it's hard to cut you off.
No. It's true though. And
yeah.
it's like, do you post too much? Do you not? And I'm like, I don't care, man. I'm just gonna post what I want to post, right? Like if I want to post, I post what I want to post because it's who I am.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, I don't want my life out there. Then why are you on social media? Delete your social media. That's what it's called. Social media, right? It's supposed to be social. And so I post what I want to post, right? I post what I want to post. I post authentic. I post the good, the bad, the ugly, man. I don't. But there was a point in my life, man, where I always I tried to think about what I posted, and I tried to. And it's not to say don't think about what you post, because like for me, man, I don't get into religion. My wife and her family were raised Muslim, so it's I don't get into religion. I don't get into race. I love everybody. Be a good person. I don't give a shit what you're into. I love you for the person you are. That's it. But you want to be conscious of what you post, right? You don't want to go post something. But my point was, man, I used to post for thinking how many likes I was going to get, in comments, and I did, man. I was like, what is Joe from high school going to think of me? And my buddies are going to make some stupid-ass comment, and I'm going to delete it. And it would that's what I would deter me from posting or putting myself out there. Yeah. And I remember, man, I would post, I'm talking 10 years ago when I was managing fitness centers, 10, 12 years ago, I was posting videos. And before it was even a thing, because I saw a couple guys doing it, I'm going to do this. And the hate was real. And it was tough because people were like, I hope that bar falls on your throat and kill. I'm like, yo, really? I don't even know you. It's real. Really? You're living in your mom's basement and the guy's got the avatar as the profile pic and he's roasting me. And I'm but I'm down about it. It got in my head because I was insecure. I totally get it. I was so insecure because I was worried about what people were going to say. And so, I got obviously my breaking point. But what was your breaking point of saying, you know what? I don't care. And how do you, for let's just say, it doesn't matter what business you're in, man, real estate, roofing, doctors, social media can be such a huge tool for you. It doesn't change you, man. It exposes you, right? So social media is going to expose who you really are, right? It's just like money. People are like, oh, he got money, he became an asshole. No, he was always an asshole. He was always, the same thing with social media. Yeah,
exactly.
How did you make the factor, I'm just going to do this, right? And then how do you block out the hate, right? And there's a flip side because the hate is real, but so is the love. And if you get so caught up in the love, you can go the other way.
You can too.
How do you deal with that? And any advice for somebody just block that out or get started or whatever the case may be?
Well, what really took the channel, and no sympathy cards here, but I had a unfortunate situation a couple years ago where I had a massive asthma attack and basically died for the most part. I have old posts on my, on my Facebook channel, just thanking God for being here, stuff like that. Luckily, the girl dating time and my son were there, very, very supportive. And they had to ask my son, basically, what do you want us to do? Because, he's the only person here that, related to me. Wow. So he had to make a really, hard decision. It was basically, he was like, do whatever you got it. My son he's a real strong kid.
How old is he?
He's 20. He's not a kid anymore. He's 22. But but he was like, do whatever you got to do. He's like, his time is not now. That's exactly what he said. It's not his time yet. So just do what you got to do. Luckily, coming from that, and then starting the channel, fast forward starting the channel, my mindset changed. When you go through, I won't even go into detail, but when you go through that whole thing, I know for a fact, I just believe from what I experienced, I won't go into the whole experience, but I believe in my experience that this is not it. There's something extra, but this is the only life. This is all I got. This is what I got. That's it. Then there's another chapter. It's not, this world is not here though. That's just what I believe for the experience that I've had. So now when I get negative or hate, my mind says, man, I'm just blessed to be here anyway. It wouldn't, if I wasn't here, it wouldn't even matter. Yeah. It wouldn't even matter what someone said about me, what they thought about me. I'm here, I'm going to do what I want to do. And then also too, man, up doesn't mean nothing. Up doesn't mean anything without the definition of down.
Yeah.
Left, right, good, bad, winners and losers. And hating is loser energy. That's loser energy. That's all it is. They're necessary. Yeah. They're essential for winners. Some people don't understand why some people who are in the Olympics and they get second place, they're happy, but they're still crying. I get it. Yeah. I play sports. If you don't play, it's funny how people comment about athletes and you know, which
They've
I
only
love
played
chess.
They've only played Madden.
You don't play Madden, right? You never played any organized sports. You know, I've only gotten to, you know, high level as far as high school. I really didn't go into college, but I was good in, you know, in track and differently. I was really competitive, and I know other individuals that are friends of mine who, you know, played, you know, professional sports.
Yeah.
And their mindset is different. You know, you don't understand what, you know, true competition means to athletes. But I get it. When they get second place and they still cry, I understand, because they still feel like that was not the goal.
Yeah.
That was not the end goal. And so when haters, you know, are hating, or you get that negative energy, I understand that, you know, those are people who either, you know, jealousy is real, envy is real. And I can tell from people that post maybe some negative comments that, man, you know, they're probably just not happy with themselves. They haven't found their purpose. They're insecure. They haven't found their passion or their purpose. And so then once it happens and you see the trend, you see like you start to feel kind of bad for them.
And you want to help them. Is it weird? Like, I want to help those people. I like, literally, I've had people, I'm like, hey man, and people thought I was being smart. I'm like, you want a hug? Like, I want to help them, because I'm like, because you know why, man? I've been there. And you said, what is it? A healthy man wants 10,000 things. A sick man just wants one. And it's so powerful, man. And so that was like, for me, man, I had my breakthrough. You know, fortunately, it wasn't from being sick, but, you know, I read this, and it was so weird. It happened after my son was born. But it was, you know, you have two. Every human has two lives. The first one, and then the second one when you realize you only have one.
Yep.
And man,
that's experience that happened for me. To go to that,
I get chills still talking about it.
Yeah.
When the day my son was born, man, like I cried for like 45 minutes, like straight. Like, I could get emotional talking about it, like chills. I mean, it's a real thing. Yeah. And it was okay, man. Like, and it was weird, man. And I don't say this a lot, because some people, you know, again, but the truthful is that I didn't really feel much when my wife was pregnant, man, and not in a bad way. Like, you know, I was there, but I didn't feel much, man. Like, I was like, okay, you're pregnant, now what, right? Like, we're gonna take care of this. But man, when I saw her holding my son, my life changed, and it was like, okay, man, like, you got one shot at this. Like, and what's crazy is, hey man, I have a rough story about a ton of things, and it's scary, from the domestic violence. And like, you know, I look at it as that I was put on this earth for something, and going all through that. Someone asked me, would you go through all that again? I was like, yes. With the drop of a hat, to be where I'm at with my son, I would go through that 10 times over to be there, because I knew it was like, that prepared me to be where I'm at. And so when I see that hate, I'm like, hey man, I can't hate you back, because I can't hate on someone that has the same dream as me. I want to help you. If you want some help, man, I'll fucking help you. Like, I will, man. Whatever it takes, right? Like, I'm not gonna put my family in jeopardy, but obviously, I would help you. And you know, it wasn't always like that, man. That hate was hard, man.
It's not. And I mean, I'm at a point where, you know, I definitely want to help people that want to be helped. Yeah. That was a point in my life where, you know, I've listened to a ton of motivational speakers. I've had people try to help me out, but, you know, I didn't make the move. I didn't make it happen until I was ready to make it happen.
Yeah,
I mean, it might have been some people I've heard, but it was a time where I was like, enough is enough. It clicks. Yeah. So I realized that. So yeah, I'm gonna give energy, but I'm really gonna give energy to those individuals who their actions show like, listen, enough's enough. Like, I'm ready. Because at the end of the day, unfortunately, everybody ain't gonna make it. Yeah, everybody gonna make it. I mean, I went to high school with a lot of guys that are not here, are unfortunately, you know, incarcerated. They didn't make it. That could have been me, and I'm just grateful that it's not. You know, I could have gotten caught in the wrong crowd or anything like that. But luckily, you know, I've been blessed enough to be smart to not get in a lot of different situations. But I understand, of course, my upbringing was a little different. I had two great parents, so I was able to, you know, make certain decisions. I mean, you know, I mean, just to let people know, I mean, I walked by 3-4 different gangs before even going to school. I mean, I walked to school about a mile for 4 years, about a mile and a half, almost 4 years. Yeah. So, but having that upbringing definitely helped out a lot. So I knew how to make decisions, how to interact with different individuals. You know, I mean, it's just, it all plays a part now into where I'm at now, man. You know, being able to deal with people. But yeah, man, as far as the hate, you gotta just be, you know, one, thick skin, and just know that, you know, hey, you're just laser focused, man. Yeah. It's just laser focused, you know. And like I said, the love is awesome. Yeah, the
it's
love,
great. Yeah.
I think outweighs the hate by far. But it can be like you get 12 positive comments, you get that one negative,
Yeah,
and it puts you away like, dude, really?
Yeah.
And then once I realize that, I go back to that. Okay, you know what?
It's just his opinion.
It's just his opinion. It doesn't mean anything, and then it really lasts for like
It's like
3-4 seconds.
Yeah.
I check it real fast, and that's it. And I'll do a positive comment. Hey, thanks for watching the channel. Appreciate your feedback.
All love. Yeah.
Boom. That's it. But I'll leave it at that.
People's comments are like the reason that I said I deal with it. People's comments are a reflection of them, not you.
Yeah, it is.
And there's we get so caught up in right or wrong, and it's like, man, it's not. It's an opinion. Right or wrong is an opinion, right?
Yeah.
It's not. Who are you to decide what's right for me? Like, I'm not. And if you want to comment, you're entitled. And I always laugh. This is my Facebook. I can post what I want. You're absolutely right. Post whatever you want. And I can comment whatever I want. So when someone comments me, I'm like, hey man, you're entitled to it. You can post whatever you want, right? Like,
exactly.
Post what you want. It says everything about you, nothing about me. I'm gonna keep. When you're authentic and you get to that, look, I've had to have tough conversations with my wife, and I say until you get to that point where you can have conversations about like, hey, you might not believe in this, but I do. You like when you can have that conversation and be real with yourself. Like when no one, not saying my wife's always believed in me, right? She's such a huge part of what I do, taking care of the kids and believe. But when you get to a point where you don't care if anybody believes in you because you believe in it, you have to get to that space, or you're not going to get to where you want to go, man. You're just not like you're dependent on other people, man. Other people aren't going to get you there. And you said something about
you have to.
I got called an asshole the other day about cutting somebody off very close to me, and I said, look, man, there's what I've realized in life is that you can't always bring people up. They have to want to come up. They have
to want it.
But those dudes will bring you down. And so who you surround yourself with is who you are, right?
Oh, yeah.
I used to attract the wrong individuals because I was the wrong individual, right? It's like, you're a product of your environment. No, man. Your product, like you become a product of environment, or you can make your, environment a product of you. Yeah. And I was around the wrong people because I was the wrong person. And the reason that, I quote unquote leveled up or got around the right people is because I changed, man. Like you can't change the world around you till you change your world. And I changed my world. And then I started surrounding myself with better people, not because I was going out and saying, hey, it's because I was a different person. I started realizing
and your energy resonated. It resonated with people. They can feel it. They can see it. Like when we first met, it was like, a lot of roofing companies, man, alarm companies, warranty companies. I mean, so many different companies coming at realtors, 24/7. But it's the ones that, it's certain people that you just resonate with their energy. Like, okay, this person is about what I'm about. And they're not just saying it, you see it. Yeah. You see it, you feel it. You can feel like feeling a negative text or feeling a negative email is real. Yeah. It's not just in your head like, I took it the wrong way. No, I took it the way you meant it. Yeah. I took it the way you meant it. It's the same thing on social media a lot of times when you're really in tune. Imagine a video. Yeah. If a picture is 1,000 words or an email or a text, imagine a video. Exactly. So when you see a video of someone, if you resonate with that, it's going to speak it's just going to speak loud. I mean, you can't, and that's one thing I think with your videos, man. I mean, they speak loud, and then you see it Monday, and you see it again Tuesday or Wednesday, and you see it again Friday or Saturday, and then you see other roofers with these simple, advertisement. You just want my money, but then you see this again. Then it starts to get in your subconscious. Results roofing. Yeah. It's in your subconscious because you see it all the time, and that's why I want people. Dan can, as much as possible. And so, because I know eventually if I resonate with you, I'm going to be in your subconscious, and it's starting to work when you have people who haven't done business with you and they're referring everyone to you. They ain't even bought a house from me. Yeah. They're referring people to you.
But they're still a fan. That's cool.
Yeah. And that's what, I appreciate that. Like, words can even, it can't describe.
Man, I appreciate that. I appreciate it so much. It's why I had somebody ask me the day, who does your social media? And I was like, I do. They're like, no, but who does like all the Facebook and who does like, so we have obviously a brand, we have a in-house marketing company that does, a lot of our content and ads and does some videos and things like that. But so all the posts, are, 99% of them are me, and every comment reply is me. So when you go on our Twitter, you go on our Facebook, it's me. And they're like, well, how do you have time for that? I'm like, how do I not have time for that, man? If you took the time to go post on my social media or comment, man, I feel bad if I don't comment back. And the reason why is because look, man, it's like we've all done it. And you go on someone's social media, whether it be a famous person or Joe Blow, and you wish them happy birthday, or you ask a question and they like it.
Yeah,
I'm like, really, dude? Like, I asked you a question, you're gonna like it? Like, so should I rephrase it? And did I put a question mark? And so for me, man, it was like, if you take the time to comment on my social media, I want to reply to you because I 100%. Appreciate it, because I value you as a person. It's not about business, man. Some of the people that, like I have friends that live in apartments. I'm never going to get a roof from them, and maybe they refer me somebody, but that's not why I do what I do, man. I do what I do because I want to, I firmly believe impact over income. And I want to impact as many people as possible, right? But I know for me, is I get people, oh, hey, man, that does look professional. I wouldn't buy a roof from you. You're wearing the other day we had a raccoon costume on, and one of my buddies like, hey, man, it's a little childish. You're messing around the office in a raccoon costume. I'm like, who gives a fuck, man? Why are you even concerned about what I'm doing? And he's like, well, you're just trying to portray to a certain client. I'm like, what client is that?
Right.
And he's like, well, who's your clientele? And I'm like, hey, man, I respect people. If they want to go with another roofing company, I respect that, right? When we deal with homeowners, my pitch every single time is go with someone you feel comfortable with.
Oh, yeah.
Go research them. Go look on Facebook. Go look on YouTube. Go look on Google. Go look on authentic sites, right? Not paid to play, and I'm talking about real. Like, go look at people's comments, because if you're doing, like for you, we're looking at one of your homes right now. What I love about that's a home that you're doing, right?
Yeah.
So if you're doing such great work over time, like, why are you using stock photos as a roofing company? Like, you're using other people's great work.
Yeah.
And so you're not using your own work.
It's not authentic. It's not real. It's not real time. Yeah.
Look, man, if I'm buying a house from you or something goes wrong, I know where to find you, because I can go look everywhere.
I'm not hard to find.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't hide now.
You're throwing it out there. Same thing with the roof, because we're throwing it out there. So look, I understand not everybody's gonna like me, and I respect that. That's cool. I get that. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I'm a little out there. I curse probably too much. It's who I am, man, and I try to be authentic with it. But I also tell people, like, go check them out, and if you feel comfortable with another roofing company or a realtor, you should use them. Who you feel comfortable with.
You definitely should use who you feel comfortable with. And people who are worried about that, and I'm definitely going to make sure I don't get off topic, but that just comes from lack of abundance thinking.
Yeah,
I really truly believe in abundance. That just comes from just lots of just improving myself, my thinking, my mentor. There is more than enough for everyone. It's
Absolutely.
just that the powers that be and some of the masses have programmed people to think otherwise.
Yeah.
But it's just not true. It's just not true. And that's the way I think. I mean, when I go to listing appointments, I know they feel my energy as if I want to help you out, but I'm not that I don't have that crab in the bucket mentality. I feel I'm the best realtor to sell your home or to help you purchase a home. This is why. I go down why I feel like I can make it happen for them.
Let's go. I want to.
That's it.
So that's actually, it's funny you led into that. That was one of the next things. So I'm a homeowner, and we're just talking right now about, hey man, I'm thinking about using you to buy or sell my home. So you could pick. Let's say, right. And let's go into this right now, man. I hate to put you on the spot, but
it's okay.
I was talking to a realtor the other day about this, and I said, hey, can I just give some advice? A personal friend. I said, everything you're posting is about selling over market value. Mm-hmm. And so I'm looking to buy, and you just turned me off. Mm-hmm. So we all know the markets, whether you agree it's out of control, but that doesn't matter, right? The point is that the home that you could have bought for $500,000 a year ago, 2 years ago, is now $700,000, right?
Right.
Facts. And so, but every post I see from realtors, I sold your home $200,000 over value, $50,000 over asking for you. Like, that's happening. So me as a home, if I'm looking to buy, man, I'm not buying because I'm like, I'm gonna wait.
Exactly.
And so I come to you and I go, hey man, I want to buy a home, but the market's crazy.
Yeah,
and so
that's what everybody said.
Yeah. How can you help me? And I looked at 10 other realtors, man. What makes you different? Why should I use you? And how can we work through this?
Well, one thing is there's no such thing as low inventory.
Okay.
It does not exist. Realtors have been programmed to say that because on the MLS, there isn't as much inventory. Okay. But that just comes from out of the box thinking, just like with social media. Or YouTube, YouTube. You got for sale by owners, you have pre-foreclosures, you have absentee owners, you have so many different avenues where I've looked into where you can reach out to these individuals and ask them if they want to sell their homes. I have investors that have homes that they're looking to sell. What area do you want to be in? Sometimes you have to help people be realistic in their wants. Sometimes, sometimes they may have champagne taste on beer budgets, so you have to kind of make them be realistic. But we step outside. Okay, you know what? This is the area you want to be in. No problem. There may be a house shortage in this area, so you may have to branch out. Just be real with them. But if there isn't anything on the market, well, now we go outside them. We go outside of it. Unfortunately, there are people who are in situations where they need help getting out. They have great homes. I've helped those individuals out where I've helped them, either flip their home. Even some crazy scenarios where sometimes even rent their home back to them. I mean, there's techniques where if anybody's out there, like too, if you see this, if you're going through foreclosure or pre-foreclosure or thinking about losing your house, like there are options. Contact me. When you have access to money or access to knowledge, there's no one in this day and age that should be losing their home. In my opinion, there's no one that should be losing their home. You just don't have the right knowledge. You don't know the right people. You just don't. If you have the knowledge and people, then oh, okay, well, at the end of the day, the mortgage company just wants their money. They just want their money. That's it. For the most part, they just want their money. They're not in the business of selling homes. Wells Fargo, Chase, whatever mortgage company that may own your home, they're not in the business of selling homes. They don't want to sell your home. Yeah. They want you to pay your mortgage. Yeah, that's what they want. That's what they mean, right. So, okay, how do we get your mortgage paid? How can we work it out? Can you get a modification? Can you do these things? Like, it's just knowing the knowledge of real estate and just being in it for so many years. And I bet have different outside Texas.
Your previous life helped you being,
helped me because I understand. I'm not just a realtor that hasn't been a loan officer or underwriter. I know what they're going through. Yeah. They're worried about, am I going to get approved? Is something going to, work out? There's questions they can ask. Well, what is debt to income ratio? What is DTI? Why is my loan officer asking for my paperwork again? Like, this is the third time they're asking for this again. Like, why is this? Why is that? Those are questions that I can ask them and make them feel comfortable because they want answers right away. Yeah, I mean, it's an emotional purchase for them. Yeah, for me, it's not emotional. Like, a house don't, I'll sell my house now for the right price. Yeah. I don't care. Yeah. I'll sell my cars for the right price. You bring the right price, you can have it. Yeah, but that's just because I understand how it works. So you need to be with a realtor who understands, okay, this is the market. It is crazy. You may not find something, especially at a price point at like 500,000 or under in North Dallas. You're competing with people from California calling like, hey, I'll pay 100,000 cash. Yeah. So you have to think outside the box. We'll look on the. If not, then we'll look outside of that. And that's how I do.
So what are some things? So if right now, I was talking to a friend the other day. He's like, "Hey man, but I'm not gonna buy because the market's gonna come down." I'm like, "Well, what if it doesn't?"
Yeah.
So think about that house you could have bought for 500,000. Now you're paying $6 million. Well, what if next year you're paying $7 million? You could have bought it for $6 million. So it could be an investment. Yeah, like you don't know. So we're gonna hit a bubble, but what if we don't? Right. So to me, I look at both sides. Right. I don't try to be either, but it's optimistic, pessimistic. I would think I'm more of an optimistic, but I'm also a guy. It's like, if you want to do it, right? If that's what you want to do. And so what if it does go up? Right. Mm-hmm. Because if it goes up and you just got screwed again, but you have to be, you have to be careful that you don't just deal with what you just did. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
What are some things right now that people could do maybe to help, buy a home now? So market's crazy. You brought up paying cash. Is there things they can do? Like, because again, not everybody has 600,000 cash laying around.
Oh, so, yeah, definitely.
Is there things that I can do? Like, maybe waiving something? Should people do that? Should maybe, shorten your closing? What are some things people can do to?
Good question.
Win?
Good question. So, definitely. Well, in this market, especially if you see a home on the, on the MLS that you want to purchase, your realtor brings a list of homes that, hey, this is what's on the market. Which one do you love? If you see a home that you love. Right now, I mean, if you're not doing appraisal waivers, if you're not if you can, even waiving financing, and that's a lot of times, your realtor should know what questions to ask your loan officer, or basically your loan officer basically saying, how solid is this individual?
Yeah.
What's their credit score? How much money are they putting down? What's their debt to income ratio? How long have they been in a job? There's qualifying questions that you can ask, and if that loan officer asks them all correctly, I'm saying, okay, hey, no problem. Waive the finance contingency. Waive it. So it's not contingent on them getting financing. They're going to buy this house regardless. If you're financing, if you're not paying cash.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's things you can do to make yourself a stronger buyer. Appraisal waivers with that. Of course, if you can put down as much money as you probably can, fine. But if you don't have it, I've gotten homes from people who, okay, they got 5% down, they got 3.5% down, but they're able to give lease backs. Lease backs are a big thing. If a person needs to stay in a home because they may not have found a home, or they want to stay in their home because they don't want to feel rushed into moving to the next one. We got Jonathan and his wife Angela that was their main thing. They said, well, we need a 30-day lease back. Hey, no problem. I called them up and say, hey, they need a 30-day lease. How many? He said, man, we'll give them 45-day lease back. That was their main thing. They need somebody to give them a 45-day lease back. So you definitely want to deal with a realtor who does not mind talking and building up some type of rapport with the other realtor.
Yeah.
I don't do just text. I don't do just email. I pick up the phone. We need to talk and build up that rapport and say, hey, what does your seller want? What do they want? What's going to make the deal happen? And of course, there are certain things they can say and can't say, of course, because they can't say. Yeah. But within that, I know what questions to ask. I know what they can say. I say, hey, I know you can't tell me exactly what's the perfect offer. I know that. Okay, I know that. But
what are the wants and needs?
What are the wants and needs? And then we go from there. And once you know that, then you know how to properly structure a deal. But I see a lot of realtors, they just throw something out there, not really knowing what
plan.
The seller wants. What do they want?
Yeah, we do. We like one of obviously our motto is, we are relational, not transactional. But
100%, yeah.
We deal with a lot of realtors, right? Love realtors. God bless you.
Yeah.
My goal is to help the buyers buy and the sellers sell.
Yep.
And yesterday I was dealing with a realtor. Like, two of the roofers told it was smash. And I was like, does your client want to buy the home? Yes or no? That's first. Mm-hmm. Yes, they do. Listen, the roof is, yes, it has, some decent damage. You're taking a risk. But if it was up to me as a roofer, and this is probably the worst roofing answer ever, right? I'm in the business of roofing. I said, I would just buy the home and take my chances because I think you'll be okay for the next 3 to 5 years. And it was like, they were blown away by that, but I was like, my goal is to help the buyers buy and sell. So it's an honest, it's a real answer.
And when they're ready, they're going to do it.
They're going to do it.
They're going to do it. They're going to do it with you. Yeah.
We had, and I'm always big on what are your wants and needs. Like the customers, I just did this yesterday. It's kind of funny. The customers always tell us what they want, but we just don't listen.
We don't listen.
And so as a business owner, as anyone, you just don't listen. You have your own agenda that you want to follow, and you think that your client should follow your agenda, which is good to a point, right? There's steps you have to take. Mm-hmm. Like there's just like with you, there's certain steps you have to take. And
it's like you said. I mean, if you want to buy, $400,000
home,
and you want a pool and all these different things in a certain area, like these cost $600,000.
Yeah,
so I can't do what's not there.
You can't do, but if you're showing me homes and I'm saying I want a pool, and you're showing me a home without a pool, I'm like, hey man, are you listening?
Yeah.
Well, this one fits in your budget. And so just yesterday we were talking to a client. We were doing the neighbor's roof, and they wanted to talk to us, and they had to sign out for another roofing company. And I was like, first question was, do you feel good with them? Like, do you feel comfortable? And they're like, well, I'm like, listen, if you feel comfortable with them, go with them, because I'm not going to try to sell you, because look, we all use the same shingles. There's a certain amount of shingles you use. We all use the same manufacturers, same suppliers. Really the key is warranty. Like, what kind of warranty you cover? Like, that's what separates us, and we have ours. But I was like, if you feel comfortable with them, you should go with them. And he's like, well, I was like, okay, man. So you're kind of on the iffy with them. What did you like about them to put your sign in the yard?
Right.
And he just looked at me, and I was like, no, man, like, what did you like about him? Because if you like, and he goes, well, he named off, but you could tell he was really iffy. I said, so are there things that give you some apprehension about using them? And he's, I went into those. Okay, man, what do you want?
Yeah, exactly.
And the look on his face was like shocked. He even said, he was like, I've dealt with 20 roofers, and none of them asked me that. And I'm like, it's not about roofing, man. It's about being what do you want? Because if I can't help you, then I'm going to tell you I can't help you. If I can help you, I'm going to give you the necessary steps it's going to take, right?
Yeah.
And if I can, I'd love to. If I can, I'm just going to tell you. So what do you want? and what do you need, right? And it was just the look on his face was crazy. And I was like, so many times, man, we try to just go after our own agenda, right? Yeah. It's what happens. And we dealt with this yesterday. It was so funny how this all worked out because I had that instance. That night I had an appointment with a customer that we had dealt with in the Frisco storm last February. Went out to his house, talked to 3 or 4 other roofers, and they all said, replace. And his roof needed to be replaced, but he was going through some family things, and he just wasn't a good time to deal with that, man. Like, insurance company being back, he was having to travel for a family emergency. And I said, hey, man, you do have a couple potential leak spots. He had some holes and vents and whatnot. And he's like, man, can we just fix those? I was like, you can do this, but it's not going to be a long-term fix. And he's like, man, I just don't want to do it. I go, hey, man, hear you. Let me fix them for you.
Right.
He was blown away. We fixed them for him, right? So fast forward, February now, what are we, 7-8 months away? He calls me back. He's like, hey, man, I'm ready to file a claim, and I want to get this taken care of. And he gave us his 3 neighbors. Yeah. That was it, because he's like, you're the only one that listened to what I said. And so I think you get a lot of that now is that, in real estate, you got to listen to what the client wants, because
you got to.
And you got to be upfront with them and listen to what they say. If they tell you they want something, hey, I want a $500,000 home. Well, hey, you can't get this area.
Right. Yeah.
I can get you that home, but it's going to be a different area.
It's going to be somewhere else. As long as you know how to, you're open to.
What's more important to you, the price point or where you want to be, right? And start asking those questions to get what they want.
Yeah.
So
100%.
And especially in this market. So, and I love too, man. Earlier you said something, and I wanted to go back to it, but you said about winning and losing. And,
winning, lose. That's just hate energy, man. I mean, it's gonna, winning. It means nothing without somebody lose. Somebody gotta lose. Somebody gotta lose. Somebody's gotta come up short. I just don't want it to be me. I don't want it to be me.
We played team basketball the other morning. And, hey, man, and I'm pushing 38 now, and I still give him my all. And at the end, I told everyone, good game. There's 8 of us. Hey, man, good game. And they're like, oh, you even congratulate on that loss though. Yeah. I was like, hey, man, if you can't love them when they lose, you can't love them when they win. Exactly. And for me, we're talking about winning, and I said, hey, I don't even enjoy the win. I just hate the loss, man. Now I embrace it, but I just don't like it, and I never liked the feeling that it gave me as losing, and so it's always made me come out with my back against the wall because I didn't like it. Yeah,
it's no fun, but it's funny because when you're so laser focused, even when you win, it's like you don't even celebrate it long because it's like you're okay. What's next? You just want to win, and that's when the legacy comes in. Yeah, you just want to be like, and I just want to. My part of what I do, like I said before, is I want to show people. Like I said, who look like me, that you can be in this space and you can win. I've had I think some of the most hurtful comments I have been, like racial comments. Yeah. Those are the hurtful. The other ones, they don't really hurt that much. But those are the ones I had, those and to have those on the channel, those people I block. Yeah. I block because that energy I don't want on my channel, and and I'm also protecting not only my mental space, which is a real thing, but I'm also protecting the people on my channel's mental space, because a lot of times someone will say something, and this has happened, this has happened a few times, where someone will say something negative about me that has nothing to do with the channel, and then the whole community will just gang up on them. We'll just where's your channel? What are you doing? Blah, blah. And it's like, I don't want that energy on the channel. So when I see it, if I happen to see it, I know, I don't usually respond to it or anything, but I will block that person from the channel because that's just not what I want.
There is no room for racism or discrimination in my book. Yeah, at all. People like to make comments sometimes. I don't know if it makes them feel comfortable. That they can make those comments. Again, rarely. I'm a firm believer most people are good, right? It's why the news is so popular, because if it was everyday life, it wouldn't be news. It wouldn't be news. It wouldn't be. It's like this. You don't wake up in the morning on Facebook and be like, hell yeah, man, I made it to work. There was no traffic. It was great. I made it on time. You're like, fuck this. There was a wreck. This dude cut me off. I was late. It's because it's not normal, right? So the reason we portray all this stuff on the news is because it's not normal. Because if we saw it every day and dealt with it every day in our life, it wouldn't be news. It wouldn't be crazy on social media. So I firmly believe that most people are good. But I've had comments over the last couple of years that people say, some stupid shit, whether it be discrimination or racism. And I'm like, hey, listen, man, I don't know if you know this. Some of my closest friends are, from other countries.
Yeah.
My wife was raised Muslim, which means my kid, they're immigrants. They came here. And by the way, my son's name's Kobe after an African American. And when I was homeless, a Hispanic family took me in.
Yeah.
So be careful,
careful.
man, because it's not that, your stupid comments can go somewhere else. It's just, you got to be careful because there are people out there that will take it too far. And that's why you have to get those people out. Like on a YouTube channel, you say something like that, man, that word can trigger somebody to do something. That hate can trigger somebody else to go out and retaliate, and you don't want to be.
And I just block it. But another side, I kind of understand it because just real quick, growing up, I grew up, all black community. I went to all black high school. School, and then ended up, family had some problem as far as where we were living, and I ended up going to Bangor, Michigan. Small. If anybody knows anything about Michigan,
I lived in Detroit for a year.
So Bangor, Michigan, not too far from South Haven. I mean, if you know about Bangor, Michigan, South Haven, you know Michigan a little bit. So very small town. So I went from an all black school to
an all white.
Two black. I was devastated, like truly devastated. Like what in the world? Because I had an idea of white people that was negative because everything around me, from police, from what you see on TV, from everything, especially at that time growing up, was negative. These were people that I can't trust. And then to go to that, I was like, oh my God, man, like this is hell on earth, I thought at that time. Yeah. But then, I'll never forget his name, man, Jason. I don't even know where he's at, but Jason, he had a really cool car, and he was listening to Wu-Tang. And he, at the time, Ghostface had an album out, and it wasn't even out. So I'm like, dude, how do you have this music? And I was a big Wu-Tang fan. And so I stopped him. He was driving, and I literally stopped him. He was driving through I think it was Hardee's.
Hardee's,
So I know, Hardee's Burger, right?
Yeah.
So he was driving, he was getting a burger from Hardee's, and I stopped him, and I was like, hey, man. And I was like, where'd you get that album? He was like, whoa, we didn't met. He didn't know me or anything like that. And he was like, first of all, what do you do? He's like, what are you doing here? Yeah. But my grandfather, he had bought a huge house up there, and I said, well, yeah, I'm going to school. And we started talking, and then we started listening to the album, and we connected through music. Yeah. And then, so music is what got us connected because he was really into it. I was really into it. Some of his other friends weren't as into it as I was. Then, so he met me into his friends. Then I played basketball well, got on a basketball team, and it just grew from there. And then, I was like, wow, my whole world just changed. And from that point on, that's 6 months, because I was there 6 months, but I ended up coming back to Hirsch, which I finished off the rest of my high school. But that point, I think, was like a godsend to let me know, like, hey, man, this is not the way you think is not the real world. Yeah. It's not the real world. And coming back, it was like after that, my life never been the same. The way I interacted with just individuals from all walks of life, from all backgrounds, was just different, because I then started to see people for who they were, and not from like just my surroundings and what the media may portray or what they may say. That's not real life. Yeah, I experienced it. Yeah, I experienced it.
And you experience, like you said, like you could get 15 good experiences, but the one bad changes perception, which is so backwards. Yeah. Why would you let one bad experience change your perspective on the 15 good? But it's just the way we are, because we're not used to it, and it triggers a different emotion. When you're not used to something crazy, it's like fear. It triggers an intense emotion, and so it causes more than what you're used to. And the same thing for me. I firmly believe that hate is taught, it's not caught, man. You're taught hate, right?
Oh, you taught it, yeah. Because I was taught that. I was taught that, man. You just don't trust these people. Yeah. You don't trust. My parents never taught us that. Yeah. My parents never ever taught us that. They've always been accepting of any and everyone. But I was around just the society, and just being around it and being around the energy. It's like you just have
that's
that.
What you feel.
That's what you feel.
You didn't know anything different.
You didn't know anything different. Yeah. Exactly. You didn't know anything different until you experienced it. And then it's like, oh man, and then you start correcting your friends, like, oh, like no, bro, he's not cool. Or no, he's good, he's cool. It's like you start correcting your friends, because you won't tolerate it anymore, because you know the truth.
Well, and look at the walks of life, like laughing, because it doesn't matter. Like you brought up the story, you had two great parents, right? Both parents, both around, great parents. I don't even know who my real dad is, and my mom, drug, and wrong guys, a whole nine. So look, it doesn't matter where you come from. You can come from a great family and make it. You can come from a horrible family background and still make it. And so, we'll finish up here in a second, but I wanted to just, for you, obviously where you've come from, where you're at, the success you're having in this space, the success you're having on social media. What is some of the advice that you could give for anyone looking to get started, whether it be real estate, whether it be, they're not where they want to be? What advice could they do it? One, to get to there, but then two is, if you're going to start a social media channel, whether it be on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, doesn't matter, all of them, I'd say yes. The answer is yes. What's some of the advice that you could give them that'd be the best advice for them?
What I told just a friend of mine just the other day, because he's been procrastinating with doing his YouTube channel, and he really wants to start his YouTube channel. And I was like, dude, you gotta just jump.
Yeah, just do it.
You gotta just do it. There's never gonna be a perfect time. It does not exist. You'll always come up with an excuse. There's always gonna be an excuse. You have to do it, and then you have to draw up a contract with yourself to say, there's no looking back. I'm going to do this until it makes it, until it works. That's it. When I did that with the channel is when it started to grow faster and faster. I said, you know what? This is it. I'm not, college it's great, it's perfect, great, but I'm not going back to college. I'm not getting another job. I'm not doing these things. So I started looking at, what my pluses were. I like people, like talking to people. I was like, okay, I was like, well, I like to dress. Okay. I started check marking. Like, what are my strengths? Like, what can I push out to the world? Like, what are my strengths? And then that's what you see in the channel. I like music. You're going to hear, now you hear like 4 different music changes. You hear the intro. You hear the intro. You hear 2 different music changes while I'm doing a tour. You hear the music change at the end. I like music. I like fashion. You're going to see me in a new suit from Garyani's Menswear probably all the time. I love to talk to people. I love to help people. I love where I stay. I love Dallas. I love different parts of Dallas. That's why I'm not just in North Dallas. Like a lot of realtors, they want to focus on just an area, and that's perfectly fine. Because it's good to be a niche.
Yeah,
it's good to be niche. You want to be niche. But I mean, I've done deals from Mansfield, to McKinney, to Prosper, to Salina. Like I'm all over the place, and I actually learn about these different areas, and so that I can be knowledgeable enough to help someone wherever they want to move in the Metroplex. So I would say definitely, man, you want to just do it, just jump. Don't worry about failing. Don't worry about the haters. Don't worry about anything like that. Just jump, make that contract with yourself. Like, I'm doing this point blank period, no matter what anybody thinks, no the haters, and just do it. I've seen you do it. I've clearly seen you do it. And when I think I did that, which was for me, I've always had point in life where I've done that. But as far as my YouTube channel, 2020 was like, I don't have a choice.
Yeah,
like this is what I feel like I want to do, because I don't want to go backwards. I don't want to.
It's not an option.
Go back. I'm not trying to go back at all. I may maybe slow down a little bit, but I'm not trying to go back. And so when I did that, man, I mean, dude, I've been able to meet some just really amazing people. Get into circles where like I never would thought of, and the type of people that would even call me like, hey, Andrew, I'm like, wow, like this is awesome, but they see what I'm doing, they see what I'm trying to do, and it'll happen if you're consistent, because it's not going to happen overnight. Like it's not 6 months. It's not going to 6 months before I even got one client.
Exactly.
Before I got one that I can say from the channel. Yeah. And now I'm getting probably maybe 2 to 3 potential clients from the channel a month minimum.
Yep.
Minimum.
And it's going to continue to grow. 12,000 subscribers. I remember when you had 5,000, 10,000, and it's at 12. And I think the 10,000 was just recently, because I remember seeing you post about it. You're like, congrats on 10,000. And then now it's at 12 too. And I'm like, wow. Yeah. But it's 6 months. Right now I feel like a loser with my like 350. No, it's okay. But what I heard from it, and it resonated with me, because it's what I did, is you figured out who you were. And then you went all in with that. And so you got to figure out who you were, and you got to figure out what you want, right? Like the crazy part to me is the things that happen, people are like, are you surprised? I'm like, no. Yeah. And they're like, why? I'm like, I told myself that, 2 years ago. Yeah. And they're like, I envisioned it. Even when I had nothing, like I remember one night specifically, man, because I was scared, because I was 14 years old. It's always in the back of my mind. So I replay it over. I don't live in the past, but I remember that where I came from, because I'm super grateful for where I'm at. Yeah. And I think for me, you got to be grateful for where you're at and what you have. And when you're grateful for that, man, I'm like, the thing for me is I'm so yin yang. I would turn it all off for my wife and kids, and then I'd turn them off to get to where we need to be to support them. Like, I'm total yin yang on it. They are the most important thing in my life and are what matters, and everything else is a byproduct. And I know who I am. Look, like, people are like, well, you need to have a break. You need to go play. You need a hobby. You know what my hobby is? My hobby is work and my family.
I tell people all the time. They're like, you need to relax more. Like,
I don't want to relax.
It is. And as far as relationship, you have to kind of, you have to unplug, because I understand that most people aren't going to be, but I understand people like Michael Jordan or Kobe. Like, I understand they're laser focused on something. They really have to work hard sometimes to step outside of that just to even have family time. Yeah. And they're conscious of that, so they do what they need to do so they can, maintain those relationships and stuff like that. But when you're so laser focused on that, like, I have a lot of friends that I've had years ago. I don't hang around them, not because, and they're great people, not because I don't want to. It's just because, they may be into certain things I may not into, whether it be, smoking cigars or doing different things all the time. And it's like, I'm so focused on this and just almost just addicted to the futures of what I see myself becoming, that it may seem like, it's funny because my fiance was like, you need to go out with your friend. She told me, you're a bad friend. I was like, you're right. I get that all the time. I was like, you're right. I was like, I've had my friends invite me like 4 or 5 times and I don't go out. I was like, he's in town. You need to go. I was like, you know what? I gotta go. You're right. I was like, hey man, dude, where are you at, man? I had to go out because sometimes we need to check ourselves as well too. No, you do. And you gotta sometimes find that balance, because sometimes it can get crazy over the just following the passion, following what you really want to do, and other things will lack. So now I would say for definitely the past year, I've been really trying to be laser focused on having more of a balance, but still keeping that laser focus, but taking that time away for family. And what helped me is just I hate to say it, schedule it in. Like, you have to. I'm gonna spend time with my fiance on this day, or I'm gonna hang out with my, even if it's once a month, like, I'm gonna hang out with them for 4 or 5 hours once a month.
There's nothing wrong with that, man. People get it so twisted in the way they think you should do it. It's like, doesn't work. Like me, it's work-life integration. It's not work-life balance, right? Exactly. I go home and tell my wife what's going on with work, right? Yeah. I try to keep my wife up, because then she feels a part of it, because she is a part of it, right? She doesn't think she is, but when I'll say, hey, we did this, she's like, I'm so proud of you, and I'm like, us. Because I'm like, it is us, because I couldn't fucking do what I do without you taking care of our kids, because 100%. That is it, right? You have a way more important job than I ever do. And so it's work-life integration. It's not work-life balance. But like, go play golf. I don't like golf. I don't want to go. I don't like go to happy hour with the homies. I don't want to. Like, no offense, but I want to do this, right? I want to, and when I do, I want to hang out with my guys. Like, I want to take a trip with my homies or the 2 kids, man. And that's what excites me, and that's what makes me happy. Hanging out with my wife, that's what makes me happy. Doing this, building this brand, building this legacy, continue to brands. That's what makes me happy, right? I'm not trying to do other things. Now, again, do we go out with friends? Do we go out with people? Absolutely, man. You have to, right? You got to do those things, but you got to do what makes you happy, and don't get caught up in, you can't schedule it. Me and my wife schedule date nights. We have 2 kids. We schedule date nights. We schedule babysitters. We schedule trips. Just today we were scheduled. Hey, what are we doing for Christmas? Let's get that on the books. It's on the weekend, so we can go, right? So to have that family time, because it is super important. But what my wife knows is that we're going to schedule those times, but if something pops up that's super important, I might have to step away. But we have that. But there might be nights I go home at 3:00 because I want to see her, but knows that I might have to step away for a little bit. And as long as you have that communication and that balance, and know that, I don't try to hide it from her. It's work-life integration. It's like, here's where it's at. So
definitely, man.
Hey, man, I enjoyed it today. Let's talk about where can someone find you? How can I get in contact with you? What's, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, email, website? How can I get a hold of you?
Instagram, it's Dan Can, ITSDANCAN. YouTube, just my name, Daniel Hunt, HUNT. You can find me on there. Also, Daniel R. Hunt Jr. on Facebook. If you want, you can find me on there. And YouTube has all my contact information as far as phone number, everything like that in description. So feel free to reach out if you're looking to buy or sell a home. I'd love to be of assistance to anyone in the country. Actually, with who I'm with, we can set you up with a realtor anywhere in the country. I'm Dallas based, but I usually like to talk to individuals, see exactly what it is that they want, and then partner them up with someone who I feel would match that. And usually it works out relatively well. because of course I'm putting my name online. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you want to make sure that it works out well. But that's how to contact me.
Perfect.
That's how to
My
contact
man.
me, man. Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
Always a
it.
pleasure, man.
Yes, sir.
Always a pleasure.